Hi everybody, I'm Jason Klaus and you're watching the Klaus to the Heart show here on youtube.com. Certainly appreciate you taking time to give this a watch, and we're going to do something a little bit different with this episode. This is something that I have been thinking about for a number of weeks now in terms of how I wanted to address this, how I wanted to approach this, how I wanted this to be filmed, how I wanted this to be presented. And like I was going back and forth, because at the end of the day, regardless of what we do, what we talk about, I want this to be entertaining and I want it to hold people's attention. But at the same time, I don't want to put so many bells and whistles on the thing that the overall meaning and the purpose for a particular episode gets lost with all the bells and whistles. So I thought maybe because of the sensitivity of this topic, this presentation, that it was just going to be a very straightforward thing. And there might be a bell or a whistle here or there, but by and large, I wanted this to be something that's going to resonate with the particular target audience for this show. So this episode is going to be geared more towards our younger viewers, because we're going to talk about something today that is affecting a lot of you. We're going to talk about bullying, because that seems to be a very popular topic right now, especially with everything going on in the world around us. It's been all over the news, it's all over social media, it's all over the place. And those are just the instances that are being reported. How many more are happening that nobody knows about? And why don't they know about them? A bully is a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those whom they perceive as vulnerable. And if you look at that definition, I think we can come up with a plan to thwart any kind of bullying that goes on. Now, there's a number of reasons why people will allow themselves to be bullied. For the most part, they don't want to be in trouble. They don't want to get in trouble at school, they don't want to get in trouble at home, and they feel like that if they engage in some sort of confrontation, that's exactly what's going to happen. Meanwhile, that allows and that feeds this desire inside a bully to continue the torment. We have seen and heard a lot of different cases to where extreme measures were taken by a kid who felt like he was being bullied and they had no other alternative. And that's where the problem lies. As somebody that was bullied himself, I was bullied throughout my entire childhood. And, there were a lot of times where it did seem like it was too much to handle. But then I had something of an epiphany. I made a decision that I was not going to let anybody's behavior, bullying or anything like this tell me who and what I'm going to be. I realize it's easier said than done, because again, there are those of you who do not want to cause ripples in the water. You're worried about some sort of ramifications if you try to stand up for yourself. The fact of the matter is that the solution to the bullying problem is in the definition. And I realize it's easier said than done, but the fact of the matter is that the way you present yourself, the way you stick up for yourself, is going to be the determining factor as to how much bullying you're going to be exposed to. You see, there's something inside a bully that is less than full. There is a void somewhere in their hearts, in their minds, somewhere on the inside. There's a huge void going on. It could be a lack of attention, it could be a lack of self-esteem, it could be a lack of anything. They don't know necessarily how to go about the proper way of filling that void. So they will do, and they will orchestrate this behavior that will generate some sort of response, regardless if it's a good one or a bad one, because in their mind, any kind of response is what they want. They have this desire to feel like they're bigger than other people, and to me, that is one of the signs of a total lack of self-esteem, because they have to get to a point in their mind of some sort of social standing at the expense of others. And again, the reasons are numerous. They could be anything. I feel like in this day and age that, there's a lot of different layers of bullying than what we had to deal with when we were your age, because back then we didn't have these things like social media. I can appreciate the fact that a lot of you don't stick up for yourselves. You don't bring it to anybody's attention because of the fear of any kind of revenge or retaliation against the person who's causing you all of these issues. Let's look at the definition again. A bully is somebody who is going to prey on those that they think is vulnerable. What happens when you're not vulnerable anymore? What happens in that first time that you do stick up for yourself? Because at some point you have to say enough is enough, because absolutely nobody has the right to dictate another person's mood, another person's well-being in a malicious way. Along those lines, nobody should have to live their lives in fear. You have this fear of humiliation. You have a fear of being perceived weak. You have this fear of being perceived as a narc if you do go and tell somebody. That's where we need to get off, because under no circumstances is it wrong for you to seek help when you feel like you cannot handle this on your own. I don't care what the deal is. We are all individuals. We are all unique in our own and special ways. And we have a right to live a life that's more full of happiness than dread. It's amazing to me what people will prey on in terms of bullying. They see a weakness, they see something that doesn't look quote unquote normal, that's their target. And again, I think it's happening to fill a void that they're feeling in their own lives. But that does not give them the right to treat you and to humiliate you in any way, shape, or form. The problem of bullying is a very serious one. The problem of bullying is one that we have got to get under control before anybody else is hurt. Now let me talk to the ones who are doing the actual bullying. What are you doing? What is it in your brain that has malfunctioned to the point to where you feel like the only thing that makes you feel good is to intimidate and hurt other people? I feel like there is a lack of something. There is a lack of attention. There is a lack of understanding. There's a lack of something in your life that you are taking out on somebody else. Somebody that by and large has no responsibility for the way things are. And this is the point to where I feel like you should really seek out some help and find somebody to talk to the root of what these problems are. Let's get to the root as to why you're so angry. Let's get to the root as to why you feel this is acceptable behavior. Because it's not. There is nothing good about this. In your cliques, in your little groups of friends, you may be perceived as some sort of hero because you made a kid cry. Well, congratulations. Because in my mind, you just demonstrated one of the telltale signs of being a butthole. What gives you the right to manipulate another person's mood or safety or well-being? You don't have that right. A lot of bullies will point out things that may look different. They may be perceived as different or odd because it's not whatever is deemed normal. We're talking about physical features. So their ears may fold out a little bit more than yours do. Maybe their eyes are a little bit closer together than what yours are. Maybe they do need some braces to fix a dental problem. Do you think you're perfect? So you can sit there and point out all the physical features that may not be deemed normal, whatever normal is supposed to be. The fact of the matter is that we are all individuals. The fact of the matter is that we all bring something to the proverbial table that nobody else does. The fact of the matter is that we all have different quirks and imperfections and things of this nature. That's what makes us unique, and even you. Because I can promise you this, with every flaw that you see and you expose on another kid, you've got two more looking right back at you in some way, shape, or form. The matter is nobody is perfect. You don't even have to be perfect. You just have to be a decent human being. I think that's where a lot of the deterioration of our society's morale is coming into play here, because it's getting passed from generation to generation. And another way of looking at this, and it doesn't matter how fast you are, it doesn't matter how strong you are, it doesn't matter how much better in some sort of athletic competition you are, it doesn't matter how much higher you score on a test. If you have an ugly soul on the inside, nothing you do, none of your accomplishments will ever mean as much as they possibly could if you were a decent human being. And I realize that a lot of this is being taught at the home. I realize that a lot of this is being taught by different influences that they are exposed to. Movies, video games, TV shows, things of this nature. Because it looks cool on a TV screen or some sort of other electronic doesn't mean it resonates in real life. Because that is manufactured and this is real. And the hurt and the pain that you cause other people by putting them down, by humiliating them in public, by doing anything that causes them any kind of ill feeling is as real as it gets. You're trying to accomplish. And to those of you who feel like you are being bullied, that you have no other choice, that you just have to take it, let me reiterate, just for the purpose of reiterating, that is not the case. There are a lot of people that are available and willing to help if you feel like you cannot handle a situation on your own. Because anybody would want you to seek that kind of help instead of just taking it and taking it and taking it because you don't deserve it. We all have this opportunity to live happy lives, to have happy days. And I realize it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but bullying should not be the constant storm clouds that hang overhead each and every day. So I implore you, if you feel like you have no other recourse here, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody you trust. Talk to somebody that is in a position of being able to do something about this. A school principal, a teacher, a counselor, a parent, aunt, uncle, friend, somebody that you trust. And above all else, embrace what makes you, you. Because even though there may be one or two people that for whatever reason get some kicks out of pointing out what could be perceived as an imperfection, there are so many more that appreciate whatever that is, because it's what makes you you. It's part of your identity. It's a part of who you are as a person. And who you are as a person is good enough. You don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be vulnerable. Because at some point, enough is going to be enough. And you're going to have to stand up, and you're going to have to stick up for yourself. Because I promise you this, anybody that truly cares about you, even if you do get in some sort of disciplinary trouble, it ain't going to be that big of a thing. Because they would rather you stick up for yourself than to just sit there and take it. To the bullies, you may think that you are on some sort of pedestal in terms of being cool or badass or whatever the case may be. You're on borrowed time. Because there is going to be that one opportunity where you push another individual too far and you wind up getting smacked in the mouth for it. So just know it's coming. And just know that when that day comes, you had it coming. And let that be a slap of reality that tells you that your stance in life in this particular situation, one as a bully, is not acceptable. Case by case, person by person, we need to figure out a way to curb this. Because enough is enough.